chasing, shine bright deep inside you. When will you ever let it shine from within and cast all of your fears aside? You'll see the light until that day comes.
Hello and welcome back to Kingdom Reviews. I'm your host, the Future Keybearer. Today, we'll be going back in time to Timeless River. We see Queen Minnie doing some research at Disney Castle when Chip and Dale come to her with some sort of emergency. They show her that one of the more important rooms of the castle is covered in dark briars. There's only one being who could possibly be responsible for this. Brer Rabbit!
I was born in the
Being the star of one of Disney's most popular attractions isn't enough for him! He won't rest until Song of the South is available on Blu-ray! So our heroes arrive at Disney Castle.
Must be nice to be home, huh? Well?
You know, something just don't feel quite right.
The mood lighting in here is all wrong. Chip and Dale arrive to tell our heroes to meet Queen Minnie in the library. On our way there, we fight seemingly endless waves of Heartless. Also, this is something that went largely unnoticed in the first game, but I like how this garden is a tribute to the band concert short.
Your Royal Highness, did you happen to summon us?
Yes.
Is that why we're here? I thought it was just a coincidence.
Excuse them, this is our friend Sora. Sora! The king told me all about you in his letters.
Well, I'll give the king this. He at least checks in with Minnie to let her know that he's okay. Anyway, Donald and Goofy leave to make sure that the rest of the castle's residents are safe, while Sora escorts the queen to the audience chamber. And before you roll your eyes at what is essentially an escort mission, it's less keep this person safe and more make sure this party member doesn't die. While Minnie isn't the best fighter, she's not entirely defenseless. She can fight back and supplies a reaction command that knocks enemies back a good ways. This escort mission is split into two parts: getting to the audience chamber. For some reason, that just does not get old for me. And getting the queen to the throne.
Whoa!
I guess Heartless are like Mogwais. So just as Donald and Goofy happen to catch up, Minnie tells Sora about an artifact called the Cornerstone of Light that protects the castle from darkness, but something has gone wrong. As it turns out, Maleficent is the culprit. I still think the Brer Rabbit thing was a good theory.
Well, well, well. What have we here? If it isn't the wretched Keyblade holder and his pitiful lackeys.
Now you're gonna deal with me!
And all the powers of So Maleficent reveals that she plans to take control of Disney Castle, and Goofy suggests that they ask Merlin for advice on what to do. Upon returning, Merlin takes one look at everything and knows exactly what the problem is. Considering Merlin's history, I'm not sure how I feel about him being able to discern the problem so quickly. So Merlin summons a magic door and tells our heroes that if they solve the issue on the other side, then the castle will be safe.
While you're there, the nature of that world may tempt you to do something dark. You must resist that temptation at all costs.
Care to elaborate?
You'll know soon enough.
So our heroes go through the door and find themselves in the era of black and white cartoons.
Oh, this is kind of one.
Deja vu?
Yeah, that's it.
Did Donald even exist in the age of black and white?
Hey, you! Seen any bad guys around here? Why, you oughta...
That was a lot funnier than it had any right to be.
Well, there's our villain.
You're not wrong.
So you chase Pete down and beat the crap out of him. And I don't mean you fight him, I mean you just wail on him. He doesn't even really fight back. And because of that, our heroes start to get the idea that they might have the wrong Pete. Afterwards, they see I'm not entirely sure how I describe this thing, but it shows them that the Heartless appeared in this world just before they arrived.
Oh,
Deja vu?
I swear, that line is the only reason why the scene didn't stop after Sora and Goofy's landing. Anyway, you now have 4 of what the game calls windows of time, 2 on the nose. And in each one of them, you have to help Mickey here deal with the Heartless without causing too much mayhem. Though, given that this is 2030s era cartoons, I thought mayhem was the whole point. In between each of these fights, you find another... whatever this was, and they each show a piece of the story about how Pete was feeling nostalgic for his ship captain days, which manifested into a door to the past appearing, which Maleficent plans to use to her advantage. I have no idea how this works. Let's see. If that door is connected to the past... No, transfer! Huh? Well, that means we're in the past! Congratulations! Took you long enough! Still have no idea why Merlin didn't tell them this to begin with. I mean, he expected them to figure it out! Anyway, it turns out that Pete was sent to the past to destroy the Cornerstone of Light while it's unguarded. And speaking of the devil, there he is being chased by his past self.
I finally found the pipsqueak what stole my steamboat.
Yeah, it was you.
Right, me. No, it wasn't me. I'm just somebody who looks like me.
Don't you just love time travel?
Your future's on the line, Pally, so back off and give me the boat.
I've already beaten yourself up, but this is ridiculous. After a fun little segment of stopping Pete from getting away with the Cornerstone, he retreats for his door.
Donald, we'll come back for it later.
I'll be honest, I was 90% sure that they'd come back to find it gone. So you catch up with Pete and finally have a proper boss fight with him, and his past self... helps us? Yeah, past Pete's presence in this fight is both helpful and a detriment. But the fight itself is fun, and afterwards Pete returns to the future and Sora locks the door behind him. Then I get my nostalgia bone tingled when Pete lets Sora pilot his boat before returning the Cornerstone.
Well, I'll bet you the castle's safe now.
Guess we should head back.
Once as long as we're here.
Donald!
Oh, that's a good idea. Let me go.
What was Donald planning on doing? After our heroes return and see everything is back to normal, Donald is confronted by Daisy.
Donald, you forgot about our date again. You'd better have a good excuse this time.
I was in the coma for the last blur! Oh sure, I've heard that before. And as we close out this world, we get the Wisdom Drive form. This one is primarily magic-based, increasing the effectiveness of your spells, and basically giving you Magic Missile. And that was Timeless River. Pretty damn cool. I would have never guessed that there would be an entire world based off the black and white era of cartoons, but I'm glad it's here. And the idea that it's Disney Castle's past is clever and interesting. Though it does raise more questions about the transition to color than Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Just the entire aesthetic of this world is awesome. Not only going black and white, but even going so far as to reduce the audio quality to match the time period. And the plot somehow managed to do a time travel story without it becoming too complicated. Well, that's it for this episode. Tune in next time as we see what the ocean has in store for us.